I was on campus when Obama was president.
Right, same.
So it was like, and it was so funny, like just the culture, and like, 'cause I don't think it would have been the same if I would have went somewhere else. People were running out of the dorms, and it was just like a big celebration. And I don't think I would have experienced something like that elsewhere.
Did you cry your freshman? I feel like all the suburban kids freshman year, they had this like come to Jesus moment around the same time where they just started crying about being like, this is their first time being in a black space.
That's it, that's all. That's it, that's all. Tell me how you feel. That's it, that's all. That's it, that's all. Black excellence at its finest. How that skin glows, she's a true diamond. With the world at her back, she's still smiling. Never let that crown till she stays thriving. That's it, that's all. That's it, that's all. Keep it real. That's it, that's all. That's it, that's all. Is that really it though?
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Daz It Daz All. You know who I am, KC Carnage. And today we're going to be talking about HBCUs because guess what month it is? Homecoming. Woo! And I could not go by this month without talking about my loves about HBCUs. And I also got some guests here who's going to represent their HBCUs. We have Kiana Haywood and Alicia Crooks.
Yes.
And I don't know if any of you guys know what HBCUs are, but they're historically black colleges and universities that are public and private institutions established before the Civil Rights Act of 1964 in the United States. Before their inception, HBCUs gifted black people with access to education, which was denied to them during slavery and segregation. Mm-hmm. Now, let's take a little cheers, y'all. Cheers. Thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for coming.
Cheers.
Now, I can't reach you, but here we go. Air cheers. The reason why I thought this was so important to me because I honestly didn't know what an HBCU was until I went to my HBCU.
Me too.
Wow.
Like I had
y'all need your
no
ass
idea.
kicked.
Well, I grew up in the suburbs, so like,
Okay.
I didn't like they weren't talking about like go to an HBCUs. Like my family, like I was in my immediate family, I was the first person to go to college, so they weren't talking about like the difference between. They was just like go to college. Why do you think it was important for you to go? This is something that you always wanted to do?
Yeah, I think it was definitely my family. Like, you know, and starting something new. Like, my mom didn't go to a HBCU. She went to a PWI, what we call it. And so, I mean, but of course she didn't finish. But, I mean, that's neither here nor there. But, you know, I was like, I'm going to go to a HBCU. I want to be around people that look like me.
Right,
Period. I want to have fun. I want to get my education and still, like, learn about what HBCU stand for. Like, what that means to, you know, for everybody. So, I thought it was pretty dope when I
How about you, Allie?
Well, I'm from Detroit, so if you know anything about the Motor City, Motown, whatever, the D, basically Detroit is black as hell. So when I decided on Howard, or I was deciding to go to school, I wanted to just like take that energy that I had from my city and just be in school with it, basically. So I didn't know the most about HBCUs, but I knew a little bit. I applied to, you know, like the top, whatever the top 5 were for our time. And I just picked Howard because it was in D.C. And I was like, ooh, I like D.C.
Well, see, I didn't even apply to HBCU. To be like I said, I did not even know Bowie State was an HBCU until I got there.
Right.
And we were talking about it. I applied to a couple different schools, and my first choice was actually University of Hartford in Connecticut. Wow. And my uncle lived in Maryland, and I already knew Bowie. Bowie was my second home. Like my mom and my aunt was the only two that had kids, so that was just what I knew. So I was like, I can either go to the snow or I can go and my aunt's 20 minutes away and I got somewhere to like crash. Right. But it definitely changed my life and I wouldn't have changed it in the world. Now, do you think it's important to talk to our black children about going to HBCUs?
Absolutely.
Yes. I can't imagine not talking to kids and my own, like my little cousins, my nephews about Howard. All I do is talk about Howard, or I'm like, okay, you don't like Howard. Where else in the U.S. that's an HBCU can I get you to?
Because you going.
Because you going somewhere. That's HBCU.
Exactly, that part.
What was it like your first day stepping on that campus?
I remember like every first day of school since I was a kid, right? That feeling, that smell of fall, all the change of the leaves and things. Yeah. And I remember feeling like, what the fuck? I do not have anything to wear. That's the first thing I thought about. Yes, I was like, where did they get all their clothing from? Oh my God! I remember thinking, I was glad that my parents dropped me off, but I couldn't wait for them to leave. I remember thinking, why are the men so fine?
Yep, that was top 4 for me. Definitely top 4.
I remember thinking, did I pick the right major? A lot of that all the time. Like, is this the right right
I feel like
path
no one
for
knows
me?
the right major until they actually graduate.
I think beyond graduation. I think it's like your
It's like
years
I got my
past.
degree, so it's like I'm just gonna at some point when you're deciding what your major is gonna be, to get to a point it was like, okay, I have to finish school.
I have to finish
So
school,
whatever
yeah.
we're here now, whether it's the
Right.
third, the second time you tried it, this is where we're at now.
See, I think my experience was definitely opposite from both of y'all's because definitely mine was like sophomore year. So it all started as a pre-law major, and I was like, nah, this ain't gonna be it. Like, I need to change this like right now before I graduate, or I'm gonna fail. I'm not gonna graduate. I was like, no, I need to like hurry up. I was going through everything. I mean, like biology, teacher, communication. I went through it all, and I was like, okay, maybe PR will be my thing. So yes, so PR majors, what's up?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I definitely no. I couldn't wait till after I graduated, and then my mom was like, you need to get this done right now. Like, stop playing.
Yeah, I was a broadcast journalism major, but did not actually use it until this year.
Oh, God.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm a
You get into
musician.
it
Like
later.
I sing. So that's what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like I went into like corporate America right after college for a few years, and then I moved out to LA, and I've been singing professionally. And then literally like the top of this year, I was like, I looked at my degree and was like, I need to use you. Like, what's up? And then I was approached with the opportunity to do this, and I just kind of like, this is what I was supposed to be doing in the first place. So is that okay? So how do you think that like going to your HBCU changed your life?
Growth. It definitely matured me.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I, from Maryland, and I was living in Maryland at the time, and then I did a whole transition to living in Miami. Being away from my mom and my family, it definitely like built the maturity inside of me. And I was like, oh yeah, because once my mama left, I was definitely homesick for like the first semester.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't. Yeah. I was always like I said, I grew up in the suburbs. Like, I'm used to like multi-cultures. I mean, like both my neighbors was white. Like I've never been surrounded by that many black people in my entire life. Yeah. So for me, when I went there, I was like, wait a minute. Like, like I was I got judged by the way I spoke and, like things that I was into. But like, it also like was one of the best experiences of my life because it was like, I was home. Like, I felt like I was with my cousins. I felt like I was with my family. And it also taught me a lot about the world and how things were viewed. Like, I was on campus when Obama was president.
Right, same.
So it was like, and it was so funny, like, just the culture. And like, 'cause I don't think it would have been the same if I would have went somewhere else. Yeah. Like, I remember literally driving so my freshman year, I lived on campus. Mm-hmm. And then I moved off campus my sophomore year. Mm-hmm. But my apartment was literally like a 2-minute drive. Like we were to hang out. Like we wanted to get off. Like everybody's been to that apartment.
You had the party house.
Yeah, we had the party house. So literally, we saw it. We were like, we gotta go to campus. And literally, we parked, and people were running out of the dorms, and it was just like a big celebration. Yeah. And I don't think I would have experienced something like that elsewhere.
Did you cry your freshman? I feel like all the suburban kids freshman year, they had this like come to Jesus moment around the same time where they just started crying about being like, this is their first time being in a black space. And so all the city kids, especially if they grew up in like in a major black city, we were like, why the fuck are y'all crying? It'll be in random classrooms. Maybe the teacher says something so like poetic that really touched them, and they were like, wow, I was really 1 of 5, I was really 1 of 2. And kids would just start crying in class.
Right. Yeah. I don't think I ever cried in class, but I definitely had some coming to Jesus moments. Like, especially so like for me, like even though I was a communications major, the communications building was in the same building as the arts department. So I took I grew up in musical theater and all that stuff. So I took all my electives was in that department. So I was in one building the entire 4 years I was there.
Lucky you.
It was one building. It was one building. And it was the arts. It was the education to see, like, to see that many black professors. That's what the Coming to Jesus was like for me, to see like so many black educators. And because like where I was from, we had like it was the music, and it was like the stuff that like they wouldn't want us for, the music, sports, like, you know, maybe there was a math teacher, but for the most part, most of my teachers were white. So like my Coming to Jesus moment was like, oh my God, there are like real educated black people that are teaching us and are like, you know, expounding our minds and stuff. So that was definitely a change moment for me. Now, what was your favorite moment in college?
Too many now, girl.
Yeah, I definitely have too many.
I definitely think the Obama getting elected his second term was powerful, because we did just where Howard's located. We literally walked to the White House. And it was everyone in the streets. I mean, everybody in D.C. were just mobbing to the White House. Had a party. It was a drum circle. That was just like inspirational, whatever. It made my heart sing. Even right now, thinking about it, I'm getting chills. I think my favorite moment in college is, I want to say graduation, but being like, I am done. Oh, girl, I don't even know. Everything was just on go mode. Do you remember just being on go mode all the time?
I can definitely say like one of my like funny moments, you know, homecoming, like when everybody alumni come back, pulling up the food, the drinks, the fraternity sororities on campus.
I can agree with you on that one. I can agree with you. Homecoming.
And the professors were like, what are you doing in class?
Nothing.
This is a formality. Y'all should be outside.
And they encouraged it. They encouraged it. So I think it was a camaraderie thing. It was definitely a camaraderie thing. Like, go be with your people. Like, this is a time for celebration. I definitely think that like that is a distinct like attribute to HBCUs. Like they're gonna make us celebrate us. You know what I mean? They're gonna make us celebrate accomplishments, and they're not gonna overlook it or bypass it because they understand it. I guess one of my favorite things, like you said, the homecoming, but more so where I come from, we didn't. Like the biggest black celebration, I guess we would say we used to have a heritage parade, and it was always around my birthday in June, and it was one day. It was
not Juneteenth.
No Juneteenth. I didn't know nothing about no Juneteenth. Like,
I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't either.
I know nothing about no Juneteenth.
I didn't know nothing about Juneteenth.
Really?
Nothing about no Juneteenth.
I mean, I learned at Howard, but yes.
No. I mean, nothing about no Juneteenth, but we had an African American festival that used to happen once a year, and it would have the parade. So that would be the only thing that I can say that like we got the chance to celebrate everybody. So homecoming, I was like, what is going on? What is happening? I love it here. Woo! Like, what is happening? It was like food everywhere. Like this is like you said, the fraternities, sororities. You know, like I wanted to pledge, I didn't get a chance to, but like it was definitely a change it changed my life. That's all I can say is that it changed my life. What outside influences have you had? Like any like okay, let me ask this question. What is your favorite form of media and like what that represents HBCUs or colleges? Like whether it's a show, whether it's a
that represents us.
Yeah. What's that show? Bill Cosby spinoff.
Oh, A Different World.
Yes.
Different World. Yeah.
That was definitely.
But like, what's a new? I don't know. Like a new age.
All American Homecoming.
All American.
All American.
That is actually
mine
a really
was
good
School
one.
Days.
Yeah.
Mine was School Days.
Yeah.
Mine was School Days. But the thing is about School Days, I liked it because it was actually reminded me of my school when I watched it. Like when I watched it, I was like, this is like we had because my school was pretty small. Like Bowie now is legit. Like but Bowie when I was there, it was like. We was in the grassroots edition.
No,
we was in the grass.
I didn't even know that y'all were that close to us. That's what was crazy.
Close. We're so close. And then they brought us.
I'm telling you.
BFFR.
Didn't even know.
That was like
crazy.
20 minutes.
Yeah, I knew.
Minutes.
She didn't know.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
I'm like, what you mean Bowie and Morgan is down the street?
They down the
HBCUs?
Morgan and Bowie was very close, but also too like I don't find too many shows now. Like I felt like it was a certain time that like HBCUs were pushed not only in movies. I mean, like Spike Lee used to do it all the time. Like you know,
he was definitely spearheading it the most. All American Homecoming is the closest like new age version.
Right. I don't know any newer movies, but like I think that like you said, A Different World. Like that's my show. I just actually just rewatched it like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And all the black shows always had like their gear on.
Yes,
Living Single.
Oh my God.
They always had Martin.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
Did too.
It's like I feel like the 90s and early 2000s did a great job with that kind of representation.
Right,
where
right,
I wish they would bring back now, but it's like that's why this was so important. I was like, if I want to do an episode, we're coming to our paraphernalia.
Okay.
We're gonna do what we gotta do, but also too like what was some of your biggest takeaways from your school?
I think I learned the most after I left Howard, the impact of everything, like all the information that I learned that from my professors or different experiences that I had flooded me once I left. Because, I mean, Detroit is so black. Howard in D.C. at that time was really black. Now it is phasing out because of gentrification. But then I moved out of that space and I moved to Orange County. And if you know anything about Orange County, it is white as hell. So when I left, by that time I was about like 25, 26. That's when all the experiences, like everything the professors, my parents prepped me for came to work. You know, just really being comfortable in my skin, maintaining my confidence in spaces, knowing that I'm supposed to be in certain spaces based on like everything about me, my intelligence, my character, what I have to bring when I'm working in corporate spaces. It just really made me feel outspoken. But I didn't have that energy until I left. I feel like when I was there, I was comfortable. I was in my bubble. Even in DC, I was just like, it's a bubble. It felt like a bubble at the time. But when I left, I had to really like, you know what? Nah, you got me messed up.
You got me messed up. I'm
about to
educated.
demand myself,
Right,
right, in this
educated.
space.
How about you,
Yeah.
I
Kiana?
agree everything in what you just said, Allie. Like for real, like being at like that, like you know, at a HBCU, and then taking that with you, literally like, all right, let me show the world like what I can do. You know, just having that impact. I definitely like touche.
And what's been great too is that like more and more HBCUs are now being accredited, because my school wasn't accredited when I was there. It's accredited now, but it wasn't accredited. So when I got out of school, it took a while for me to like get up and running, because although we were institution, like I mean also too we're the third HBCU. Like we're at the top of HBCUs that came out. So but we were a smaller school. Now people are flooding money. Like I went to go visit. I was like, this ain't some shit. I said, I grew up in the wrong year. I mean, they got everything. I mean, it's state of the art.
The HBCUs are still underfunded.
Yeah.
Did you see the recent stats? I don't know if you guys saw it recently, but it came out this week or last week that we're still missing $2 billion of funding towards HBCUs alone.
Now you know black people and money don't get along.
Okay.
They won't do it.
Listen.
They won't do it. And there's a lot of like private investors. Like Kevin Durant, I believe, just funded our school. They just named.
He's from Maryland.
Yes, he just named our gym after him.
Oh.
So.
Well, that's dope.
I hope I didn't misquote that. I hope it was Kevin Durant. I probably should have looked that up before I said it, but I'm pretty sure it's right. If it's wrong, guys,
Durant.
you guys can tell. Durant, Kevin Durant.
And you know, like what you just said about the accredited, you know, that's how the school in Atlanta,
Clark Atlanta?
No, I know what you're talking about.
it's Morehouse Spelman, Clark Atlanta. It's the last one.
with the band.
Purple and white.
Morris Brown?
Yes,
Morris
they
Brown,
lost
yeah.
their accreditation.
Like I thought
like-
they gained it back.
Well, like in the beginning, I mean, like they had
Oh,
it,
yeah, that's
lost it for a long
time.
period of
Right,
time,
right.
and they just got it back. Like
But how
literally,
they just gonna say you're not accredited, but you're gonna still take people's money and tell them
no,
they
they
can go to
wouldn't
school?
accept any students or anything. Like,
Wow.
It just made everyone's degree from there not
Which is
valuable.
messed up, because they're not giving people's money back.
No.
no,
That's
it's
the
gone.
thing.
It's
Like
long
if
gone.
you best believe it couldn't have been me.
First of all, Biden need to
It
pay
couldn't have
off
been
the
me.
money in
Right.
the first place.
Okay.
Right. It couldn't have been
Y'all
me.
need to
Let me
call the
say,
student
let
loans.
them have had my degree and say I couldn't use it or it's whatever. Y'all gonna give me my money back. I'm
Yeah.
going to all the courts. I'm going on Channel 9. I'm going on Channel 11. We talking to everybody but Fox, because we know Fox is propaganda. But we talking to everybody but Fox. But so all in all, your experience in your schools, like, you know, we all think our school is the one where we graduate, but like, what do you think made your school super special?
I got this one. I got this one.
Go
so
ahead, go
y'all know
ahead.
the song "Lift Every Voice."
Yes.
It came from Florida Memorial,
Really?
baby.
That's a great fun fact.
Period. Yes,
That's a
we
great
did
book.
that.
Would you like to go, Bowie?
I'll go. I was gonna say Toni Braxton graduated from Bowie State
Toni.
University.
Okay,
but
period.
also too, I think what made our schools very special because we were smaller. So like I think that
same.
it was very
Intimate.
It was very like personal. Like we had real relationships.
Yeah, family oriented.
Yeah, it was real relationships. A lot of our network like has been very strong. The alumni has been very strong, and then also too because it was so small. You see somebody from Bowie, it's a different vibe. Like it's like you went to Bowie. So that's what I think would make it special.
Okay, well, let me tell you about the HU.
Here we go. We had to bring one of them on the show.
Not only are we the best HBCU,
God, here you go.
what can you say about Howard? I feel like Howard is such a well-known school that people I don't know why people is confusing it with Harvard, but sometimes I just say it.
But they do say Harvard. They do say Howard is the Harvard of
Yes,
of
I-
black
Black
people.
version.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I just say it and see if they know what I'm talking about, or just let their mind wander.
Yeah.
But you already know Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
The
Y'all got a list. Y'all got a list.
We
Y'all
got a list, a crazy ass list.
Y'all got a list.
I think that just not the alumni, but the way that Howard is in the center of DC, and you get that personal political experience, and the way that the professors drive that experience for you.
Yeah.
We were always protesting for the good of the community all the time, putting our bodies, getting locked up on the front lines. In the heart of America, damn near.
Especially with the Trayvon Martin, situation that happened. Trayvon Martin's mom went to my school, and so we did like a really big thing, and we really supported her, and she supports the school like hands down. So when that happened, that was very like traumatic because it was just like,
didn't she run for council recently? Did she make?
oh, I don't know about that, what happened after that, but she did do
Well,
it.
she was there.
She got my support from here.
She's there. I mean, all in all, one thing that was like I thought it was very important to talk about it because people don't talk about it enough. And also too, I think people that go to HBCUs don't talk about HBCUs enough unless you're in a community of HBCUs.
I can definitely agree
like
to
if
that.
you with somebody that says I'm from HBCU, then we're talking about an HBCU.
They're like, oh,
Or most
so you
people,
went to-
right? But most people are like
Right.
they're discussing, or maybe it's like not necessarily at the forefront. And I feel like because it changed my life, especially being from a suburb who weren't around a lot of black people, like I think that I'd be completely a different person.
Right.
Like because I just wasn't exposed to it. But I do believe that like it's for us. Like we should go.
It's for
us by us.
It's for us by us, and we should go. And it doesn't. And there's nothing saying that you won't get that top tier job.
Right.
There's nothing saying that you won't make those 6 figures that you want to make. There's nothing about it. But what's going to happen is that it is specialized and specific for our needs.
Yeah.
Our way of life, and giving, like you said, Ali, giving us the know-how to be able to stand strong in those spaces that are not, that don't look like us.
Right.
That 4 years is real. Like that 4 years is real.
Look,
And
girl.
even afterwards, it's like you step into the real world, like, oh, you competing up against somebody that went to Harvard versus Howard or, Bowie or whatever. And, we competing for the same job. They looking like, okay, I heard of this PWI, but I never heard of this. Like, what school is this? And it's just like, we have the same education. Like, I did a 4-year, he did a 4-year, or whoever you're going up against. And it just feel like we just got to break down that barrier. Like, literally. Like, we got to be confident, stand strong. Like, yes, we both got the same education. Like, we did the same major or whatever. Because we wouldn't made it this far competing with one another.
Right.
So, like, don't try to downplay me and where I went to. Like, we may had a different experience. I went to a HBCU, you went somewhere else. But we still got an education.
I think that's
Yeah.
just the whole idea of black people have to do like work 5 times as hard as anybody else, even if we
I hate
had
that.
the same experience of going to school,
Yes.
or any higher education institution. I think what I struggle with leaving Howard, I was about to say something else. Leaving Howard specifically was like meeting other black people that went to PWIs and maybe them feeling self-conscious about who they were. Because when you say you go to HBCU, there's a
There's
connotation.
a pride, and there's a
about
pride in it.
Yeah.
And
they're
not-
like, oh, you the real black
And
person.
right,
person.
and not for nothing, and not for nothing. I mean, on the other end of it, not for nothing, you do kind of like, even if you don't do it on purpose,
Yeah,
there is
it's
a
a
subconscious
unconscious.
just like, you ain't got no HBCU. Like,
yeah, okay, like California.
Right, you ain't got no HBCU. Like, I went to the HBCU. I know what was popping over here. So like, I can get that. Like, and isn't that funny though? Like, it is that duality of like, kind of doing everything in your power as Black people in America and as Black women in America to make sure that we are not only showing up in these spaces as a Black person, but also understanding what that means.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because all of the stereotypes that are surrounding around us, it's really your individuality. It's really how you are cultivating yourself and showing up in the present you're showing up. And I do believe that HBCUs help you do that. Yeah. And I do believe that it helps you cultivate a community, and more so a community.
Yeah.
Because I've been like, my community, my college community is unmatched. Like, it's unmatched. I didn't leave with a lot of people that I still get connected to, but the few that I do, it's always love. It's always, they're doing amazing things, and it's important. I believe that it's important to keep pushing that conversation and keep talking about it and letting our children know about it, letting our young ones know about it, because it's nothing like it.
Yeah.
There's nothing
and then
like
holding that connection, so like wherever we are in our careers in our life, being able to provide that grant like funding scholarship to kids in our family, our friends' kids, whatever, so that they can link right back to the school, but following the money trail so it don't get lost at the school.
Okay.
That's really where it be fucking it up at. Okay,
because we don't know what those we don't know where those alumni checks go.
Okay,
like that. Wait. Y'all had a scandal, honey.
We did. We had a whole scandal about that. And I was there during that time, and my mom stayed at the admin office going off. Like, where is the money?
Yeah. What am I waiting on? Like,
this is so funny. They would go to the back, stay there for whatever amount of time, come out and be like, oh, okay, we took care of your tuition.
Yeah.
I swear, every time. You had to show up, cuss them out, wait in line,
because if you weren't gonna say nothing, they wasn't gonna say nothing.
Exactly.
And it wasn't even gonna do nothing.
But they couldn't risk you saying something to get blown up. So they had to be like, oh, she not the one. She not the one.
It used to be a thing every semester. It was like, oh, I gotta go to the
financial aid. So
aid.
let's talk about that. Let's talk about, like, I wonder, and this is a question I want y'all to answer, and literally please respond to it. In PWIs, right, white institutions, are y'all financial aids fucked up? Like,
we need to know.
Like, we need to know, like, for real, because I swear every semester somebody's class was dropped. My last semester, a lady fucked up too, and if I was not, and I pray it. Let me restack because it made me emotional. Because if I was not a great student, I was on a dean's list every semester except for the first semester I was there, and because I was dealing with some dusty boy that got me all fucked up. But like my grade point, I graduated. Okay. But my last semester, my last semester I was geared up, and I lived there. Like I had an apartment there, so I never went home and had to like come back or whatever. But it was time to start my last semester before graduation, and all my classes got dropped. And I know my mom is on top of stuff, so I know that financial aid came in. My mom drove all the way from Jersey, and she's like, we don't know what to do. My mom is wilding. She was like, no, I know my papers. And my mom was one of those people that had like the box,
paper trail,
the box and all the paper trail. She bought her box. It was like, this is the date I bought it. Where is these things? And they couldn't figure it out. And I'm just crying. I was like, I just want to graduate. I'm tired. Like, I'm tired.
Okay, and it gets so stressful.
Yes. And then so we get there. She was like, well, you can talk to such and such. To the guy. We went upstairs to like some dean's office. The secretary seriously, she was like, what's your name? Da-da-da. She pulls out my information. And this guy comes out. I'm like, what is going on? I just want them to tell me I got my classes, all this stuff going on. And he goes, she's good. We'll take care of her semester. My mom was like, what? It's like, I don't know what happened with your financial aid, but you're done. Like, it's paid. I paid it. It's fine. Well, not he paid it, but the institution. He was like, you're a good student. You haven't been in any trouble. He's like, your grades are immaculate. We got it. And that was it. My mom started, she was like, until they refunded her back the financial aid. She didn't have to, like, all the stuff that she was going to pay for that year. They got rebated back to her and stuff. So, like, I was like, look at God. But, like, I really but that's people looking out for you. He really wanted me to win.
No, for real. And that's what we got to stop thinking. Like, I mean, they always say that the perception of us, like, we're crabs in a barrel. And it's like, well, in some instance, we kind of are. But, like, with that type of situation, generation, like we can definitely, if we got it, you got it.
Right.
So, it's just, we just need more of that to go around.
I just want more stories to come out about PWIs and their financial aid office.
We want to know.
Even the playing field.
We want to know.
I'm trying to tell you, because it's like when they say like how we tighten it, they are even tighter.
Yeah, they are.
When
I
Billy
wanna
and
know.
Johnny and all that.
Somebody leak it.
Josh
leak
and
it.
Dean.
I want to see Josh and Dean. I want to see it.
Their grades be Fs.
Well,
and they
all
still
in
go-
all,
And they be paying.
and
And that's why they're not gonna say nothing, bro. I'm trying to tell you, they're not gonna say anything.
I don't know. Somebody might slip through the cracks. So I'm gonna wait for it. But I mean, all in all, I think we had a great conversation about how we felt about our HBCUs, and definitely want to thank the ladies for coming on, Kiana and Ali. I like to end my shows with a message, so I'm gonna ask you guys to leave a message to either your younger self about whether they want to attend an HBCU or the next child that is looking to decide to the next black child to decide if they want to go to an HBCU or not.
Okay. Kiana, you can do it. You did it. And when you get here, you're going to cry. It's going to be some trials and tribulations, but stick it through. Keep going, and nothing is going to hold you back. And I'm so proud of you.
Allie, you know yourself. You know who you are. Trust in everything that God has given you and preparing you for. You're going to love every experience about being around your own people, learning other cultures. We did not talk about that, but learning other cultures at this at Howard at an HBCU is going to help you understand the world around you, to be an advocate. It's going to help you to conceptualize what it means to be a black person. And I love you.
Yes.
Well, there you have it, y'all. If y'all have any questions or anything that you want to talk about as far as this topic is concerned, again, I'm going to say go. If you're a black child and you're deciding whether to go to this one or that one, go to the one where your people are going to be, go to the one where your heart is going to tell you, and go to the one where you're going to be seen and celebrated at all times.
Yes.
If you have any questions or comments concerned, don't hesitate to drop a line on us or just join the conversation. Like, subscribe, share, do all the things. And that's it. That's all. Daz It Daz All is written by me, Casey Carnage, and produced by myself and Rick Barrio Dill. Associate producer, Bree Corey. Assistant producer, Larissa Donahoe. Audio and video engineering and studio facilities provided by Slap Studios LA, with distribution through our collective for social progress and cultural expression, Slap the Network. If you have any ideas for a show you want to hear or see, please email us at info@slapthepower.com. And as always, go to dazitdazall.com and sign up there to make sure you will never miss a thing. See you next show.